Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 57 of Your Next Level Mastermind. Our topic for today is words of wisdom that have helped and inspired you. And I just got some just then, be quite frank with you. For those who are watching, I would very much recommend that you check the links out that these people have under the video you're watching on replay. It'll be on YouTube or via my email list or in our Facebook community. These people are ready, willing, and able to help you. The link that they give you or the links that they give you don't go to a gatekeeper, they go directly to them, and they're here ready and willing to serve you. So I strongly suggest that you listen to their 60 seconds of what they're going to share about what they do, and then make the decision to pick the ones you want to speak with, okay? And this is all going to happen before we start talking about the topic. Once again, the topic is words of wisdom that have helped and inspired you. So let's get started, and let me start with Carol Davies, followed by Yvonne Jones. Carol, over to you for the second
Thank
time.
you, Peter. Morning, everyone. I'm Carol Davies. I'm a success mindset coach with my company, The Passion Motivator Coaching, and I'm located in London, Canada, near Toronto. And I like to work with stressed and busy women entrepreneurs and small businesses who haven't had success in making enough time for themselves or their business and their personal life, and things are out of sync. So I like to work with them to get a personalized roadmap to find a nice balance between what they feel they need to do and how they would like to live a more successful, happy life. So they leave with a personalized roadmap. And why I do it is because I was there once. I never spoke up. I put everything more important than me. And that's frequently at the base of sometimes people getting stressed and overwhelmed. They put everything in front of them, but don't take the time for themselves. So together with my clients, we help each other and get a successful way to go forward for them. And if you're interested, this week I'm looking for busy women entrepreneurs who would like to have a discussion and see if we could find a way to go forward and get them onto a life of joy and ease.
Thank you, Carol. Life of joy and ease. That sounds good to me. Yvonne Jones, followed by Sandy Murray.
Good morning, everyone. I am Yvonne A. Jones of 50andwisercoaching.com. What I do is that I help female professionals and business leaders 50 and wiser get clear on their mindset and on their message so that they can remove whatever is holding them back. And this way they're able to shine brilliantly as the leaders that they are meant to be. I am located in Central Florida. I serve clients all over the world. And I do this because I was one of those persons, and I still am from time to time, which is why I always have a coach and mentors. We need accountability. We need support. And if we're at one level and we want to get to the next level, then we need to be working with someone who is at the level that we want to be at. So this week, I'm looking for two things. One is I'm looking for guests for my Everyday Passions show. And secondly, I'm looking for women to interview on something new that I'm doing, something that I'm trying. It's not a new thing really, but it's a new way of doing in my coaching. And I want to hear more about what are the challenges that you as women are experiencing in your business at this time of COVID that we're going through. So again, I am Yvonne A. Jones, and my mantra is focus on relationships and the money will follow.
Thank you, Yvonne, very much. Sandy Murray, followed by Penny Kennedy.
Yeah, good day, everybody. Sandy Murray here, and the name of my company is TMNN, Training, Marketing, and Networking. What do I do? Well, essentially all I do is very simple. I just try to help people start an online business. If they're interested in starting an online business, we'll say from scratch, and they need a coach or somebody to actually train them or teach them, about starting online business. That's what I'm all about. Why do I do it? I do it because, excuse me, because I just enjoy helping others. I mean, I figure that's part of my mission as a entrepreneur leader, is really to help others. That's a key element in the whole process. The location, I'm in Richmond Hill, Ontario. What I'm looking for is anybody that's interested in starting an online business, and I'm here to help. Thanks very much, Peter.
Thank you very much, Sandy. Penny Kennedy, followed by Fred Gillen. Over to you, Penny.
Good day, everyone. Thank you, Peter. My name is Penny Kennedy, and I am associated with the company Modere. What I do is I help people live a healthier, cleaner lifestyle, as well as saving our environment. Why I do this? Because I have a passion for the world we live in, and we are factors of that world. I am located in Saskatchewan, Canada, but we serve globally. And this week, I'm looking for anyone who wants to connect just to learn how to live a healthier lifestyle. It just takes one baby step at a time, and it's not as hard as you think. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Penny. Not as hard as you think, eh? Okay.
No.
Fred Gillen, followed by John Allen.
Thanks, Peter. I've got a couple of hats, but I'll talk about one of them briefly. I'm a online marketing specialist, and I run a digital agency from my home office in Melbourne, Australia, but I service the world. And the agency is called More Marketing Ideas, because that's what I do. I give small business owners more marketing ideas, and I help them optimize their websites, set up email campaigns, set up messenger campaigns on Facebook, or automated answering campaigns on Instagram. So I'm the tech guy to get through the tech stress. But I've also just recently set up a networking group, which a lot of the people in the room are aware of, and it's called the 2022 Community Networking Project. And it's designed to help people get more connections, get more referrals, and more importantly, get more business. So I'll put my details in the chat, and also I'll put a link to a guest pass so you can attend the meeting as my guest. Fred Gillen, More Marketing Ideas.
Thank you very much, Fred. John Allen, followed by Ashton.
Hi, everyone. I'm John Allen of Allen Small Business Coaching. What we do is we work with struggling service-based business and entrepreneurs whose marketing and advertising isn't giving them the results they want. Through our proven methodology, what we do is we help them find their challenges, take the actions that they need to do so they can start attracting more of their ideal clients, making bigger and more sales, and build a business of their dreams. I'm located in just outside of London, Ontario, the one without the big bridge and the big clock. And what I'm looking for today is service-based businesses or entrepreneurs that aren't having the success they want to have. And a lot of it's due to their marketing and advertising. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you very much, John. Ashton, followed by Sherry Bennett.
Hello, everybody. My name is Afshin Nuhi. I'm located in Richmond Hill, Ontario. What I do is that I get rid of your worst business fears that keep you awake at night. And we all have that, including myself, even now. What I do, I create customized marketing systems that affordably provides an abundance of clients for you. And we guarantee what we do. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ashton. Sherry Bennett.
Hello, everyone. Yes, my name is Sherry Bennett, and I'm a medical cannabis educator and resource consultant. Why do I do it? I help people find a better quality of life through education. And I do that from my website, letstalkcannabis.ca. I talk to people all over the world. And this week, if you know any healthcare professionals send them my way. My online education is really good opportunities for people in that field. Thank you very much. Delighted to be here with you.
Just one thing, Sherry. When you say healthcare professionals, anyone in particular?
Nurse practitioners, doctors, chiropractors, naturopathic doctors,
Okay.
anybody that has patients or clients that are suffering from chronic pain, anxiety, or sleep disruption.
Okay. And you've got an education program for them.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sherry. To stop sharing. All righty. Before we get into the topic for today, I've got some apologies. Tom Petty, who is actually moving into a new home and unfortunately can't make it. Shashir Lakhani, who's a good friend of Sherry Bennett. He's a new member of our community. He'll be here next week. He's an extremely talented person. There's no doubt about that. So, but he apologised that he couldn't make it here because he had a prior engagement. Yogesh, who always joins us, he can't make it, unfortunately. And Adil Allen, again, can't make it. Threw a bit out because rather than start on the topic, okay, I want Fred to actually do a quick session on practical advice. So Fred, would you like to just share a few minutes sharing a bit about practical advice, and then we'll discuss the topic. All right.
I just got to bring my screen up on my thing. So so people should be able to see that. If they pin my screen or set their view to speaker, they'll be able to see what I've got just brought up. One of the tools that I use, and I mentioned earlier in my introduction, was I use messenger marketing to help pre-qualify leads. And so we all know how important it is to actually isolate your lead, so you know who's a good lead, who's a bad lead, who's a waste of time, or whatever it is. So what I've just brought up on the screen there is just a brief flow chart of how messenger marketing works. And messenger marketing is all about asking questions, but multi-choice questions. So you don't give somebody a free-form answer. They've got to select one of your questions, and that way you can actually, pre-qualify your leads. For example, a real estate agent, if they use something like this messenger marketing scenario, they could ask a question of, what are you looking for? Are you looking for a house to buy, a house to sell, an investment property? And then to take people down that conversational funnel so they can actually follow the flow. So, and this all works. In this case, this is actually an actual case scenario that I set up for interest in my new community. So, and it's a link that I could send to somebody, so they can get that link. And you can see that the first box, like in the middle here, this is the link that we'd send to somebody. So it's just like sending anybody a link to a website, but it opens up Messenger on their device. So, and it will ask the question. So in the first box, can you read that, or is it too small? Or
it's a bit hard for me to read.
Let me just see if I can bring it up a little bit. That's probably as big as I can get it at the moment.
Okay.
But basically the first message is just a welcome message, and it just says, welcome, thank you for your interest in, and that's actually for leasing a website, which one of the services I offer. And it tells them they can unsubscribe at any time. But then down the bottom, it asks, to better understand exactly what you need, is it okay for you to answer a few questions? The obvious answer there is yes. And then we move across the screen. It waits a couple of seconds, and it just asks a question, do they currently have a website? Because if they have a website, why would they want to lease one? If they say, yes, I go, great, can you share the URL so I can have a look at it? And then I'll just move quickly across because, we don't want to take up all the night. But it's just a flow chart of questions and answers that tells people how to do it. And it's relatively easy to set up. It's not that technically difficult to set up. All you've got to do is get your questions in order that you would normally ask somebody. So once you ask those questions, these all go into your bucket, and this happens 24/7. So you don't have to be there. You can be there. So if you want to interact with the person in Messenger, you can do that directly. But if you don't, then the system is taking over that task for you. So it's, it's working 24/7, getting you the stuff. The other portion here is that I ask for the phone number and their email. But if you're using Facebook Messenger, which this relies on, Facebook actually give you those details. So all you do is confirm it, and it's one click. So the person doesn't have to type it in, right? They don't have to type in their email. You just say, as I've said here, can you confirm your phone number? Can you confirm your email? Or enter in a different one if you want to use a different one. So it makes it nice and easy for the person to just do a one click. Yes, it's my email. Yes, it's my phone number. And then I just say, thank you. And then I get back to them. I get on a phone call usually straight away because I've got their phone number. If it's an international number and time zones don't match, then I'll just work that out later. So I hope that was a nice bit of practical advice. The tool I use is called ManyChat, manychat.com, and it costs $15 US a month for that facility. And I think anybody that wants to pre-qualify leads and, have something working for them 24/7, it's money very well spent. So that's me.
Thank you very much, Fred. Appreciate that. And my apologies for the administration work I'm doing tonight in terms of running this session. But what you see is what you get. Okay, now let's talk about the topic. Our topic, words of wisdom that have helped and inspired you. And I believe I cut John Allen off very quickly. So my sincere apologies, John. Over to you.
No problem, Peter. Hey, my pen, that's my computer, so you're way ahead of me. I've got two sets of words of wisdom that I use. One's from Adam Ubansky, and his is sell it first and build it after. And the whole concept behind that is don't try to make your program perfect before you get it out there. Put it out there, let the people know what you want. And the thing that Adam always says is you only have to be 1 week ahead of your students. So you're not trying to have the whole program done. You might say to them, have a rough outline. And I'll pick on Peter here for a minute. You might say, hey, Peter, out of this topic, what would you like to learn? So Peter says, blah, blah, blah. That's what you put in the topic. Now, is Peter going to say no to that program? Because it's what he wants, right? So this is one way you can be building it as you go through it. The next one is, and this pertains to the marketing, is we don't buy the products or service that are best for us. We buy the products or service that are best marketed and sold to us. Stop and think about that. When you take a look at your business or any business, it's not always the best company that's out there doing it. It's the best company that's doing the marketing. So when you're looking at our own businesses, make sure we're being marketed correctly, because that's what's going to make a difference to us. Thanks, Peter.
Good, John. Thank you very much indeed. By the way, when it comes to words of wisdom, the thing that always fascinated me for years and years are the African proverbs. Right? I mean, you probably are familiar with them, but there's some of them are truly outstanding. And one in particular, I recall, and I remember having this discussion with somebody because they were worried about the fact that they weren't important enough to have people believe in them, etc., etc. And the African proverb I shared with them was this. It says, where are we here? If you think you are too small to make a difference, try spending the night with a mosquito. Okay? And that's something that's always stuck with me. I just want to make sure I got it right. Anyway, we've just got Markus Neukom joining us here, I think. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, John. Who'd like to go next?
I'll go next.
All right, Sandy, over to you.
Okay, so the way I read it is, what was the message that was most important to me? And the message was learning about messaging. Like messaging is your message to me is so important. How you deliver your message is so important. But let me tell you, is understanding true messaging is an art. There is so much to it that it's unbelievable. I recommend, though, that anything that you do, you spend some time thinking about your message, how you're delivering it. You know, with the triangle that says, you know, message, marketing, and media. If you said, I'm just going to focus on my message, then let me tell you, that could take you quite a while to deliver a really effective quality message for your customer, prospect, client, whatever. So I think that's a really important thing. I almost consider it, you know, everything's important for sure, but if you start with your message and get that right, you're going to have a very, very successful business. That's about it for me.
Thank you, Sandy. Well said. By the way, two other apologies I should have expressed to you from the two Pats, Pat Dreyer and Pat Kern. They can't make it, but they'll be here next week and they're always good supporters. All right. Who'd like to go next?
Yeah, I'll jump in. Yep.
Okay, Fred.
Years ago, one of my mentors said to me, we were talking about the power of listening, and I'll cut it short, but basically what he said to me was that when you ask somebody a question and they answer it, wait. Don't jump into the conversation straight away, because they will actually expand on their answer. So even if it seems like, and it took me a while to get used to that, because it's really hard to just have that pregnant pause and wait on somebody to, you tend to jump in and ask another question or carry the conversation forward. But if you wait that just extra couple of seconds, you'll find out that they will actually divulge more information, whether it's a problem or whether it's their issue or whatever it might be. They'll actually give you more information that they were planning to at the beginning. So it's just put a pregnant pause in before you actually jump in and answer, ask somebody a question.
Good point. I mean, a wise person fills their head before they empty their mouth, right?
Yeah, 2 ears, 1 mouth.
Yeah, well done. Thanks, Fred. Yvonne.
Thank you, Peter. I have 3. When I looked at this morning, I'm like, what is Peter asking for this week? But I'm going to be very brief with them. One is scriptural, because that's always the foundation of my beliefs. And it's at Matthew 7 verse 12, where Jesus said, all things therefore that you want men to do to you, you also must do to them. And that is one of the principles that I was raised on even before anything to do with business. So it allows me even today to think about the effect that something I say or do is going to have on someone else. Because, and as I get older, I get wiser, hopefully, and learn to think about, because I may be thinking of something, oh, it won't bother me, but how will it affect the next person? How will they feel after I've said it and I'm gone, I'm my merry way? What feeling will I leave with them? And that takes me to one of a popular saying is by Maya Angelou. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So if we can stop and focus on how we make other people feel, with the idea that we're going to leave somebody feeling better than they were before we met them, then it can make a lot of difference. And as Fred just said, I heard that years ago, and I've had to get it in my head, and I'm not very good at it, to wait, pause when somebody says something, to pause and wait, give them a chance to say something more. Some persons actually suggest that you kind of count like to 20 and see if they're going to say anything more, but you give them a chance to expand if they want to. And my final thing is that this was the thing that helped me overcome my perfection paralysis. A simple book, and I also happened to work with him, that he wrote. This is a coach, and he wrote this book some years ago, Take Action Now, Revise Later. For me, it was everything had to be perfect, and I discovered that my perfection was stopping me from moving forward. And that simple book, along with conversations with the author, allowed me to take action now, revise later.
Well said.
That's it
Yvonne.
for me.
Excellent.
Golden
Excellent.
nuggets. Yep.
I mean, another African proverb comes to mind after listening to that. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Think about that in terms of working with people. All righty. Marcus, nice to see you. Late as you are. Couldn't resist that.
It's technology, you know.
That's all right. Because
I've been working and I thought, gosh, let me actually check Peter's timetable. So it has changed.
That's all right. Because my administration work tonight's been absolutely brilliant, Marcus. You've missed the best bit.
You topped everything else.
Oh, I had a shocker. Who's next?
Me.
Ashwin, okay.
Well, after going through roller coaster of different businesses, real estate and other businesses, and watching other people's businesses, I realized that there is one blueprint, one skeleton common in everybody's business, and that's marketing. You could have two businesses across from each other on the same street. One is very busy, and I've noticed that many times in chiropractor offices, in sandwich shops, and the other store is empty. What makes them different is really the marketing, is not the know-how of the business. Because many people, including myself, they kill themselves on being perfect, detail-oriented, making sure everything is good, being very good at their job, but they miss out on the marketing of the business. And no matter what you do, if you're a lawyer, a dentist, chiropractors, whatever small businesses, doing coaching small businesses, you all need marketing. We all need that in our business every day. And a sample of it was what Fred was mentioned in terms of messaging. But that's one thing I learned. The other one is that number one is a very bad number in business. And I came across it recently where I had two different businesses using the same software. When one of them kicks you out, the software kicks you out, you're out of business for two businesses you were running. So you're scrambling. So number one is a bad number in business. Thank you.
Wow. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more, Ashwin, about that.
But number one?
Yeah.
Basically, for instance, if you have one person relying on your business, he's doing, or he or she is doing everything in your business, you give him a big salary, he's doing everything. But tomorrow, if he jumps the ship, and that happened to a client of mine, she was prepared, like she has a business that prepares food to the daycares. And the main person jumped ship to the other side, some other smaller company, and he told them all the secrets and so on. And they started the business right across the street, so to speak. That's one example I saw. In many cases, if you have dependent, if you feel, anytime you feel that you're dependent on the person or dependent on that specific software, for instance, Facebook, I know people who got kicked out of Facebook and they couldn't get backing for 5-6 months. They have to prove who they are. And they're just innocent people just doing their job. For odd reason, they got kicked out. So you're dependent, or everybody heard of Google slap, right? So you kill yourself, come up with all kinds of formulas. You pay tons of money to be on top. And then all of a sudden, Google changes the formula. And you are all of a sudden nowhere to be found. So it's very important to diversify your that's what I'm doing right now. I'm doing the real estate business using one CRM. I mean, Sandy Mary knows about this. We talked with him. And the other business, which is marketing business, in running in another CRM. So if one kicks you out for odd reason, they could just tell you, hey, please pack your bag and bye-bye. We love you, but we cannot serve you anymore. For whatever silly reason it could be. Then you are not losing out. So, yeah.
You know, Ashwin, when you mentioned marketing, my father told me a story once that I'll never forget it. It's about these two barbers, right, on the opposite sides of the street, and they were very competitive. And one barber decided to reduce his price from $30 a haircut to $5, right? In order to put the other guy out of business, right? And so people started to flock into his shop. And the other guy thought, what in the heck can I do? And then all of a sudden he came up with this brilliant idea and he put a sign up in his shop and it simply said this: "We fix $5 haircuts."
That's a smart.
Classic bit of marketing, right? Classic.
Yeah, that's another topic. Jumping on focusing on
good.
price.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Focusing
right.
on price is a dangerous game, but that's another topic.
Yeah, actually, we're going to talk about that one of these weeks. We'll
Yeah.
come back to that. Okay, who's next? Penny. Okay, over to you.
Okay, mine's totally different than everybody so far, but it works for me. So mine is mindset. For example, just because I have a cactus, it doesn't mean I have to sit on it. So, well, it's true, right? So every morning I try to start out with a positive mindset, and there's many times throughout the day where I've had to take a step back and reevaluate the situation or life itself and say, what can I take as good out of this? It makes myself be accountable for my actions, and it keeps me real when I come across to my messaging. So if I'm messaging somebody and I'm stressed out, that comes across, even though I, at the beginning, thought it wasn't. It really was, right? Like you could use the same verbiage, but it's still, they can sense that. People are smart, right? So there's certain routines in my day that I have to do to keep my mindset, because in reality, my mindset is where it starts. Also, I had to find an accountability partner that if I need to vent, they know it's just venting. And where if I can't take a step back, they say, okay, breathe, let's look, one thing positive. If I can't find anything, generally they will. Right? Like between the two of us or whatever, we will find that positive out of my cactus. Yeah, and things to look forward to. I hate Wednesdays. I really hate Wednesdays. But what gets me through it is, ooh, Wednesday morning, I have lovely people that I get to meet with. So mine is all about me, as selfish as that sounds, but it starts with me. So I've got to be accountable to how I'm feeling inside.
Make sure you don't sit on too many cactuses, all right?
I know.
I've
been there.
What a great way to put it. I love that analogy. Thank you. All right. Marcus, what about you, my man? You've been haven't said anything yet.
Mine is very simple. Measure the success of your days by the lives touched. And I'm very fortunate to be able to do nothing else than touching lives. So interestingly enough, I believe in my darkest hours, that's exactly what brought me out of that doom and gloom extremely fast. Simply hopping on a call with other people and not thinking about myself much. And by the way, I had a call with two of our colleagues last week. They're both not here. And it came to the point that they actually asked me, after 15 minutes or so please tell me about you. Let's talk about you. And I was at the point where I couldn't even talk about myself. And that's when I realized, gosh, that call was fantastic because I was able to touch lives. So in your darkest times, see about the people you've been able to touch. And don't look for results like money or anything else you've accomplished. So that's it.
Thank you, Mark.
And as you can tell, I am doing much better.
You are. And however long the night, the dawn will always break. Okay.
Yeah, and it belongs to life. Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you, Marcus.
You're welcome.
Who's next?
Yeah, I'll go next.
Okay.
Carol, over to you.
Okay. I have to say I was very touched by what Marcus just said because it resonates with me right in my heart. And I'd like to just share a few words from, I read a book many years ago, and it was called The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. It's called The Four Agreements. And it has four key principles that when I read them, it's like I just decided to live my life around them. I'll just look at my notes for a sec. One is be impeccable with your word, like speak with integrity and say only what you mean. Don't take anything personally, because nothing that others do is because of you. Don't make assumptions. This is huge, because ask questions of people and say what you really mean, because what others say and do is just a projection of what they think. It's not about you. And the last one is always do your best. And that one resonated with me so much because it reminded me of my father and how he lived his life. And he always tried to do his very best in life. In fact, when he passed, the minister spoke at his funeral, and she said, I spoke with your father just before he went. He said, I think I lived my life. He said, it was well spent. He said, I am happy. And it's sort of like always do your best. I think that's one of the principles that's guided my life. And I guess that's what impresses me the most.
Beautifully said, Carol. Thank you very much for sharing that. Sherry.
Yeah, thank you. I love that book as well, The Four Agreements. I learned a long time ago that you can't get through life alone. And we sure can't get through business alone either. So I always pay attention to how I feel. And I'm starting to learn to listen to my heart instead of my brain. And sometimes, when I listen to my brain, I make the wrong decisions. So I'm very, very mindful now about how I feel. And I also have spent a lot of time talking to a lot of people and choosing the people who I want in my life and choosing the people that I would like to do business with. And I think that's so, so important right now, and especially now. And I've learned over the years to be very discerning as to who I allow in my life. And that comes from my gut feeling, generally speaking. So that's what I have to say today. And I'm just truly honored to be among all of you, each and every one of you. And we're going to learn as we go along. Lifelong learners we are, I think.
Thank you, Sherry. Gut instincts are an incredible thing. There's no doubt about that.
Mm-hmm.
The day we ignore that is the day we're in trouble.
Mm.
Thank you very much, everybody, for your contribution to that topic. And please, for those who are watching, make sure you check the links that these people have left that's underneath the video. They're there, ready, willing, and extremely able and capable of working with you and helping you in any way you wish. Okay. And to all of you, thank you very much for your contribution to the topic. And I look forward to seeing you again at the same time next week. Okay. Cheers for now.
Thanks, Peter.
Okay. Bye-bye.